Hey everyone, it's me. I'm coming on strong. Hope you're feeling blessed no matter where you are. So it's been several weeks since I've been on. I went on a vacation and I've been doing some conferences. So if you clicked on the video, I'm going to talk about why it's important to connect with the higher self, especially in 2026. Okay. So I think that when I started this channel about a year or so ago, I kind of started off on a, when people are so excited, they like go off to the races and they run their heart out. I think I may have missed the point with a lot of people. And I think a lot of people may have missed the point with me. Okay. So I'm going to give you a little backstory so you can understand why I say what I say. Okay. Or so years ago, I would say if you had seen me, you wouldn't have recognized me. I used to be a law clerk. I dealt in law. I lived, deep, breathed, slept law every day. I worked a 9 to 5. I had a pretty decent career. Okay. But what I will tell you, just like every other human being, I was tired. Okay. I was tired of feeling inside that there was something more. There was something more to me. There was something more to this world. And I couldn't shake that feeling no matter how hard I tried throughout my life. So as life would have it, as the universe would have it, I had a pretty remarkable shakeup in my life. One that I, at the time, thought was the end of me, but realized in hindsight it was the beginning of me. And I want to say this because a lot of persons out there were and are just like I was. And the reason why I stress so highly what I do is not because I want to come from a place of up here, not because I want to be better than, or not because I'm trying to push people into something. Why I came on to create this channel was for one reason, so that all of you could feel this feeling. So all of you could get out of that lie. Because it was the greatest gift that the universe could ever give me. And if there's any way that I could share that gift with the world, I want to. So here it is. I was tired. I was going through a lot. I was a mother to a brand new child, and the father of the child was leaving. And I had almost all of my friends at the exact same time falling away. And I thought I did everything right in this world. I mean, yeah, provided, everybody makes mistakes, everybody fumbles. But I literally said to myself when everything crashed down, I go, didn't I do everything right? Didn't I go to work? Didn't I pay the bills? Didn't I, try to be a good partner? Didn't I try? Didn't I try? Didn't I try? Didn't I try? Didn't I do, schmooze the right people? Didn't I, go to the right birthdays? Didn't I go to all the events for my friends? Wasn't I a good friend? And when everything fell away, I was angry. I was upset that everything I tried in this world always ended up in this place. And this light bulb went off in my mind. I go, maybe it's time I try something else. Maybe it's time that I start listening to the real voice inside of me that always, in hindsight, when things were screwing up or when things didn't go as planned, was there to kind of nudge me and say, well, I kind of tried to show you earlier in this situation that may not be the best course of action. Now, you have to understand that this inner inkling, this inner voice that's always with us, is your higher self. And you might think to yourself that it has to be something large outside of you, and that is the real lie. Higher self is the voice of reason inside of you. And you can call it whatever you want. You could call it a conscience. You could call it Jiminy Cricket. I don't care. But when everything fell apart for me, I started listening to that voice because I had always gone against most of the time. I always thought that society was the way to go. I always thought that, my plans were the correct plans, that I was going to make things happen in life. And I know you know what I'm talking about. And I realized that all along my life, there was this inner voice that I always denied. Why did I deny it? Why do we deny it? Because it's slightly a little scary. The things that you're being shown or told or nudged to do are a little outside of the bounds of what's, let's say, society society deems correct. It's a little outside the bounds of what some would call normality, because they live on the edge of self. So a higher self is not trying to get you into trouble in any ways. A higher self is just pushing these bounds of self-acceptance, self-love, self-appreciation that are really not part of the matrices we live in. Like I said, when everything fell away, I started listening to this voice. For the first time in my life, I was like, well, I did everything wrong. Look at where I ended up. I'm 36 years old and I thought I did everything right, and here I am. So I start listening to the voice. And the voice is telling me, okay, don't worry about your problems. You got to focus on what you got to do, and you got to get her done. You know what I mean? So I started listening to the voice. Every time that I started feeling anger, regret, remorse, let's say revenge would creep up in me because of what my ex did, I would hear this voice saying to me, that's not going to get you anywhere. That's not going to get you forward. That's not going to get you to a place of where you want to be, you know? And then there's always that other lower ended voice that's like, no, how could they get away with this? So we're constantly being bombarded by this, you know, the one that wants to forward us and the one that always wants to hold us back. Now, the one that wants to hold us back, we could call that the ego. We could call that a lower vibrational version of us just talking to us, like let's say the lower self, if that makes sense. But the higher self is like trying to, you know, not tell you what to do, not push you, but insist and or nudge, because free will is a thing. God gave us free will. Now, was what my higher self saying correct? Yes. Was it the best for me? Yes. And it is the best for you. The you that sits in front of me watching this video. You are unique. Your higher self is you. It's you. It's not external. If you've ever noticed, then it's an internal dialogue in the cabeza, or in the head, okay? Or in the heart, whichever way you want to put it. Me, I find it's from my heart. And let's say the guides or the angels, they're external. You can feel the difference. It's like as if it's this inner self, right? That always existed. Knows you best. Okay, so I started listening to this higher self. I started listening to my higher self. I started putting one foot in front of the other. Okay, and I realized that everything that the higher self was guiding me to do, even though at times it was a little wacky, at times it was a little outside the box, at times it pushed the limitations of what I believed or deemed to be normal, acceptable in society. It has proven to me in these last years that it is the only way to go. It has brought me more excitement. It has brought me more freedom. It has brought me more joy. It has brought me more power. It has brought me to a place of where I truly, truly am starting to love myself, where I could never say that before. Now, you have to understand, in the midst of this, in the midst of following my higher self, my highest excitement, my highest excellence, I'm not perfect. Trust me. Everybody's got their imperfect perfection. But I would say as following it, I noticed that certain gifts started to open up. Gifts like saying it like it is. You might not think that's a gift, but it is. Going everywhere and speaking your truth is a huge gift. Because people think like, oh yeah, no, it's hard to go around and be your authentic self. But as you keep doing these little steps with your higher self, you start to realize and cultivate this inner you that is actually pushing you back to a older version of you. And when I mean older, I mean that it was society that stops us from being this outspoken self. When you're very young, you're very much like upfront and forward. You're very much authentic. And as society whittles us away, we start to hide and mask and cover the parts of ourselves we don't want others to see. And the higher self helps you like peel off those layers again. And you start to speak with your own mind, speak with your own authentic self. Trust me when I say, if somebody had told me 3 years ago I was going to be online doing videos, you know, I probably would have laughed at them. But I find this is a good way to teach and a good way to connect with others. So this is why I do what I do. I want others to feel this, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's ecstasy, but in a sense it's like authentic revelry. Okay? So why I'm sharing all this is because a lot of people think that the higher self is somewhere out here, but really it's inside here. It's the voice that's always guiding you for your betterment of self. And I know it may sound wacky to do, but if you are also tired of the world around you, tired of people dictating your life, tired of living the 9 to 5, doing the same thing day in, day out, getting nowhere, I truly suggest that you try the opposite. And the opposite, ironically, is your higher self. Because there's very few people that live in their highest excitement, that live in their highest joy, that live in their highest self. Because it's scary. It's the road less taken. It's the road not taken for many. But what I want to say through this little confessional is that I don't know everything. But I do know that as I grew with my higher self, as I grew into my higher self more, and my abilities developed, my abilities came maybe 2 years in of following my highest excitement, my higher self. And now I channel directly literally I could channel anyone in the world given their name. And I'm not saying that this is going to happen for you, but what I will say is that as you follow your higher self, your gifts, everyone's got them. Trust you, me. Everyone's got them. They start smaller, like I said, with the truths and the breakings into freedoms. You think those aren't gifts, but they are. And let's say, for example, you find certain aptitudes, you find a path or two or a timeline that opens up where you may not have to do things as difficultly. You may start to realize that you manifest better, you go in a flow. That's the whole point of stepping into your higher self. It's truly against the grain, but it's ironically and shouldn't be. Because if we lived in a world where we wanted to do the best for ourselves, it just makes logical sense, right? It's like, here we are in this world, and we tell ourselves constantly, oh, I want to be rich. I want to be famous. I want to have money. But we have a fundamental flaw, which is when we try to do whatever is best for us, a lot of us sabotage. A lot of us are not comfortable in that role. A lot of us don't believe that we deserve that greatness. We don't believe we deserve to be happy. You might think I'm nuts, but it's true. Because if it was, you'd be doing it already. You'd be doing exactly what you want to do aside from crime. And if you're into crime, then that's a whole different, But if you were really doing everything you wanted to do, then you'd be happy and limitless. But most of us live in this fear, anxiety, shame, guilt, where we're like, oh, if I do what makes me happy, somebody else will suffer. And it's nuts, because if we really think what's going to get us all this joy and happiness, if we're always doing what others want, what society tells us, it's never going to get us there. So following your higher self gives you this footstepping, to get to that feeling of understanding what it really means to walk in a life that is just for you, for your joy, for your excitement, for your happiness, doing what is best for you. So I'll leave you with this. I keep saying I was going to do those lives. I'm sorry I haven't. Been a little timid about it because we're all going through things. I'm learning just like everyone else. I mean, I thought that I was somebody who could do them, and I think I'm at a point where I finally can. I kept chickening out. I'm not going to lie. I have my own layers to get through because it's been difficult for me to even think that I would be here, running my own business, reading people for a living. All of these things are transformational, I spent 8 years, almost 10 as a law clerk. And before that, I was a chef. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like you walk into anything. I didn't go to school to be a higher self channeler, but my soul went to school. And I know that by me following all these breadcrumbs, I got here now. But I do want to start the lives. So if you'll be patient with me, and if I love you guys for being here. I really appreciate everyone who's joined, because that is my biggest purpose. It's not to be famous. It's not to have accolades. It's to know that those that needed me got me. And those that needed to hear me heard me. So the lives are going to maybe be a little bit about the higher self, a little about our challenges, and maybe some readings. I might just get my board out and just spitball and see what comes out. But I wanted to share this with you because I've had a lot of time to think about what this means to me. And it means that if I can share this, if people can find this joy too, that's the whole point. The higher self is you. You are guiding you to the best life you can possibly have. And I just want to share that from my heart. I hope you have a great morning. Bye for now.